Okay. It says we are live. Hello there. How's everybody today? LisaMarie. Okay. How do I open the waiting room? I am here today with Gabe Rivera. Let's see. We're using a new platform for me today. And live viewer, comment, show up. Okay, not sure what I'm doing here, Gabe. I don't know. Hang on a second. You guys, this is embarrassing. You want me to type? Okay, type. That? Is that what I was supposed to do? No. Oh, there we go. I got it. So sorry. We're using StreamYard today. Now that name is covering up your face, Gabe.
Is it?
Hey, Saka, welcome. Thanks for hopping on here. I
So,
am
so
super
can you hear
excited
me?
to introduce this guest. And, you know, when I named this show or whatever it's going to be, I called it The Interview, but I already think I got to change that name because I don't want this to be like an interview. It's just we're going to be talking, having a conversation about how whoever is here with me is making a huge impact on the world. And that could be in any number of ways. My first episode, I talked with Corky Santa Corky. That was super cool. He's making a huge impact with all the kids that he touches their lives. That means so much. And then my second episode was with Robert Hollis, and everybody that knows me knows that he is my mentor and he is making a huge impact in the world. And today I bring to you Gabe Rivera. He is a EFT certified practitioner, and EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. So, welcome, Gabe. Appreciate you being here with me. And
Hey, Lisa.
okay, well, that worked pretty smooth, I guess, except for my inner or my beginning part that was just like, hello.
You
So,
look nervous.
anyway, okay, welcome. Uh, Gabe has made an impact in my life also. I took one of his 5 day courses for emotional freedom technique, and we did the tapping, and we did it specific to an emotion that I was having trouble with. And that at that time in my life, it was anger. I was having some anger issues. Whenever you have any kind of struggles whatsoever, you're gonna bring up emotions, and they're not the positive emotions that we want to display. They are the negative emotions that arises in us, and sometimes we have a hard time controlling that. So I'm just gonna let Gabe talk about what he does, and if I find a question in there, I will ask it then. So Gabe, welcome.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Hello to you too. So, I was trying to say earlier, look at the private chat. The private chat. I
Yeah,
was
I
trying.
got it all a little late, but that's all
No, that's
right.
cool. You
That's how we learn, right?
you look great, and you know what? That's exciting because exactly, you're just having fun, and you should. We were
Right.
talking about this before we well before Lisa went live, and it takes a lot of lives or videos with the general global public now to get comfortable, to feel comfortable. And, I went through 149 videos before I felt any kind of comfort, right? You've gone to 300.
I know. So I should be a pro at this, but Sometimes it takes a little longer.
We get better. We really do.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
just strip ourselves of all that holds us back, you know, and it's pretty cool. All right, Saka. So
Yeah.
there's
His name is Yami.
Yami.
Yomi. Yeah. That's
Awesome.
Yami.
Yeah. So yeah, we agreed that we were going to have this live based on a informal format, right? Like
Yep.
no heavy stuff, and we just take off from there. So this is totally unscripted, right? So yeah, I'm an emotional freedom techniques practitioner, and what that means is that I teach people how to release your stress. And I like to work specifically with stress because, that's pretty much where we're at. Everybody's been in this survival, stressful mode for like what, a million years, I think. And
Since
we
the
live with
beginning
that.
of time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And that's terrible. You know why that's terrible? Because people don't realize it. They call it chronic stress, right? And we live with it like it's just the way it is. It's normal, but it's not. So stress is great if you're running away from the cops, if you're in a fight, if you're got to run away from a grizzly bear, sure. That's great stress. That's superhuman stuff. If you got to save a baby from a burning building, what? I'm stressed out. I'm going to do it. But that's it. We don't need stress for anything else. We're not surviving. So people are in automatic survival mode, and that means stress.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
when we understand that a little bit better, we start to address our stress a little bit better instead of acting like this makes no sense to me. Of course, it makes no sense. You're stressed out.
Hmm.
So I deal with stress for that reason because I learned it the right way, and it helped me out in so many different ways that it's been an interesting 4-year journey. You know,
And didn't you struggle with stress yourself?
yeah.
You told me a specific story that was, you know, it affected you a lot.
Which one?
Which one? You got a lot that affect you. Uh, when
I was
you were
born with stress. Everybody's
when you
born
were
with
when you were living in the house, and the was it the stepdaughter or something
Ah,
that
yes, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll talk about that. Absolutely. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. So, again, understanding how stress works will allow a person to make better choices for themselves, right? So, when we create drama in our lives, the choices that we make create the stresses that we will feel soon after, consequences. So I met this wonderful lady, from Ecuador, and we were courting between two countries, USA and Ecuador, for like 10 years almost. Nah, like 6 years. And I would come to Ecuador every year to see her once or twice a year. And I would bring her up to the New York area to hang out with me with my family. But then I finally went down there to live because we agreed, and I thought I was in love. She thought, and we're adults and monogamous, even at a distance, totally monogamous, respectful, loyal, all that kind of good stuff. And we were literally building a life together. And that's exciting, right? That's, when you're feeling that love, isn't it amazing? People's heart just flares up, and we're just moving mountains, man. I was moving mountains. I'm excited. That's great. That's a great example of elevated emotions. But
Hmm.
see, here's what happened. We agreed that I'd move down there, and a lot of the details in between that decision, that's another book. But I get down there, and now I'm not a tourist anymore. I'm living in another country. I'm living in another way of thinking, and I don't know this yet in my life, by the way. I'm being my natural self, the one who I identified with from childbirth to 5 years ago, let's say.
Hmm.
And what I didn't know moving in was that, first of all, she hadn't told her two grown children that she was moving me in from another country. Now they knew about me because I kept traveling back and forth for 6 years, and I had met them before, but I never participated in the family. So
Mhm.
here I am. I'm there, and her kids are completely objectable about this. They're like, "No, this is terrible," you know, giving me the bad looks. The all the bad behavior happened quickly. So 30 days into me being there, I had an argument with her daughter, 24-year-old, 22-year-old at the time, actually, and outside 6:30 a.m. in a private community because her mother, who owns the car, said I could drive because I'm going to be using the car during the day. But her daughter was adamant. He can't have this car. It's my car, she says. I'm a New Yorker. I drop a lot of attitude real quick. Like I don't got time for that shit. Excuse me.
Mhm.
You know. And this young lady, what I didn't know, with her brother, older brother, 27-year-old boy, um, they were recording this argument. So it's almost like they knew about this. And this is again post. This theory came after a lot of other shit happened. But 30 days into me being there, they found a reason, okay, to say, this is how we're going to get this guy out of here. And they accused me of psychologically violating the nucleus of a family member. That's that's how the law reads here. So legal thing. I could have gone to jail for 10 years. Okay.
Wow.
Oh
No
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. You have no idea. So I'm new in the country. I'm unprotected,
Mhm.
only with this woman. But she turned her back at me the moment her kids uh, denounced me. And the one a family member who helped is a lawyer. So it's almost like they played this out. They have a recording. He said to me F because yeah, I'm a New Yorker, so the F bombs were flying. F
Mhm.
you and F nah. You know, yeah, I've changed a lot. But anyway,
Wow. I guess.
my life went upside down from that high of I'm endeavoring into this new wonderful
Mhm.
future with a wonderful woman, and we talked about all these things. All of a sudden it fell apart in 30 days. I'm unprotected. She turned her back on me. I have to acquire a lawyer now because I was served legal papers to be forced out of the house. um, when I went to the courts, I had to get a public defender, but the public defender is from this country. From this country, they're corrupt. So I didn't know this, and I'm stressed out already because I'm running back and forth to courts now at least 2 times a month trying to handle this business. And I'm stressing out so much, I'm running out of money. I not even realize it. And I finally run out of money. And 8 months later, I'm living in the streets at $1. Well, I wasn't living in the street. I was basically almost living in the streets, but at $1 a day. I lost so much weight and so much in less in like 3 months. I went from a 40 waist to a 32. Okay, um, it was just terrible. I would walk every morning. I'd look at the sky and I would say, God, what the f is going on here? Show me whatever. Show me a sign. Blah blah blah. But I'm in despair. So I'm just attracting more junk in my life. And one of her friends, because they work together, nurses, her husband said to me, you know what you're doing to this man is wrong. I'm going to give him a place to live so he can get himself back together. Okay. And he just may leave you because of that. And I did. He gave me a place to live. So the first thing I did was I got on the internet, looked for a job, got my teaching job. Now I'm making money. My stress is lower. I feel protected. I'm still going to courts, but I'm backed off a lot. So
Mhm.
now the ex wants to come back with me. She's like apologetic, and I'm playing possum because I got my first paycheck,
Right.
$800 after almost a year. I even did crowdfunding on the internet. I felt so embarrassed holding up a sign saying I need help in an Ecuadorian court, saying I'm an American stuck in Ecuador, falsely accused of a crime. Oh my
Wow.
God, I can tell you.
How come you could you not go back to the US?
Not during that. No, I was in an active criminal case.
Oh, wow. That's got to be a scary situation.
And we're going to put me in jail for 10 years for telling a young girl, 22-year-olds, go F off.
Wow.
That's
That's
called
crazy.
violation, psychological violation of the nucleus of a family member. I have documents that prove this. It was bizarre. But
So how
uh,
did you get through that stressful state of your life? I mean,
well,
holy cow.
the way everybody does, okay. And what is the biggest stress relief for a lot of people? Making money.
Mm.
I was broke.
Mhm.
I was hungry as hell, and I found a teaching job that allowed me some dignity, let's say. And my first 30 days, because I was still, getting adjusted to the country, um, I got my first payment for teaching. It was $800, and here in Ecuador, that's two times the salary, monthly salary here.
I
So,
suppose.
so I was like, I got a king's ransom now for a month, but I played possum. And what I
Mhm.
did was I definitely started self care. I started eating a little bit better. But since my ex was still around, checking in on me, I said, look, here's a little bit of money so you can pay your arrears, because they were messed up family in arrears and the taxes and a whole bunch of other things. But anyway, just to play possum, like, hey, we're cool. Look, I made a little money. Here's a little. Go buy yourself something nice. Give it
Mhm.
$20. That's the world. So I'm working now in month number two, and I made twice the amount of money, and I'm ready to leave quietly, and I
Mhm.
did. I called a friend that I had met about 2 months earlier or whatever, a taxi driver, car service. The guy came and picked me up at 7 o'clock in the morning after everybody went to work. Okay, I left, and I had somebody. He had a friend who was a real estate, I guess, rental agent, and they found me a place on the other side of town. I just skipped town. Nobody knew where I was, and then 8 hours later, I'm getting the panic phone calls. Why'd you leave? What's going on? We can still work it out. I'm like,
Oh
there's nothing.
wow.
There's nothing to work out, man. I felt
Mhm.
safe after that. Now I'm in control of my life. Yeah, that was stressful as hell for me. Um, the teaching online was the first thing that lowered my stress. When we're making money, we're not stressed out.
So were you into the emotional freedom techniques prior to?
No,
Okay.
because
All right.
I was still in survival mode. I'm just
Mhm.
happy that I'm making a little bit of money. I
Right.
didn't start the EFT until about 2000 when COVID hit, and
Okay.
it all started because, again, what happened with COVID? Everybody got jacked up mentally. I gotta die, and a lot of people did. And why do people die? Because our brain is that powerful. We freak out, we believe things, and then we create our own, or we self prophesize our own demise. So if you're already in a weakened state, like a weakened immune system, if you have advanced any kind of diseases, and a big pandemic hits, that's going to activate more stressors in a person's body and brain, and it's going to kill people. And that's why people die. We self prophesize based on thought and emotions alone. That's how powerful we are as people. So I started realizing a lot of things like my anger issues, came out, resentment issues, love issues, every issue erupts. Any human being right now who says that they don't have any buried emotions that they're ashamed to talk about, they're in denial. Okay, everybody has gone through a lifetime of burying it under the rug. Okay, it's only when we start to move the earth, and that's what EFT does, right? Lisa, you did it with me. When we start,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
when we
mean, I went through that.
yeah, when we start tapping, our meridian points, we're literally activating electrical circuits in our immune system, and you're firing off all this trapped emotions, right? So everything comes into play. There's so much science behind this, but what's cool about it is that it doesn't hurt you, but we give meaning to things that do hurt us in thought and feeling. So if we erupt with a past emotion of anger, okay, we got all the mental pictures that remind us of what made us angry, and then the emotion corroborates that, supports it, and then we create all that science, you know, neurochemicals, biochemicals. They create all that drama in us, and then our physiology gets involved, and we change. We go from this, right? We go from this
Mhm.
to this.
Mhm. Yeah.
We get red and all that, and we want to pop, but we don't know we're doing this. This is what's crazy about it. People we're so special in an amazing way, but we don't know this because we've never been taught to look at the upside of our lives. Really, I know it sounds corny as hell to say that, right? We don't look at the upside. And somebody just rolled their eyes at somewhere in the planet and said, "Yeah, really? That's bull." It is true. We don't look at the upside. You know this, Lisa. 90% of a day is spent in turmoil, if not some kind of turmoil. So we either live past present or present future. We're usually
Yeah.
90% past present.
And we bring that on ourselves
We're
by
all
our
worst enemies
thoughts. Yeah.
because we don't understand our own stressors.
Mhm.
I do. I learned that stuff.
But
It's
let me
not
ask
good.
you something. What about in my situation?
Yeah.
When we went through that, you obviously dug up some old
Yes.
shit,
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah. 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 It's okay.
but but neither one of us knew what that old junk was,
I
did
look
we?
as a practitioner, I would never know what it is, but I'm my guiding my the EFT teaches. You know, you learn as an EFT practitioner how to guide a client's perspective, right? You know, and allow them to have that self discovery while supporting them to not go deep into a rabbit hole where it's going to keep you there all messed up, you know? EFT allows you to address things in a positive way. Yes, so what that you were angry and it was buried? We discovered it, we addressed it, it's been released. You still know how to do that if it rears an ugly head or whatever. But it's not detrimental to us. It's actually
Hmm.
the positive side of things. You address something negative with the positive, you get a positive result. It really does work that way with EFT. So
Hmm.
that's why you don't have to be a believer because it's all science. It's your whole body, brain, and heart working together. You know,
That's the key right there, the brain and the heart.
yeah. You
Yep,
know,
that was the key.
well, a lot of most people in the world, a lot, we're disconnected. Our brain and our heart is disconnected. You
Hmm.
don't know that. I didn't know that about myself. I just happened to know this when I first started learning about emotional intelligence. Now, let's be honest. Okay, I'm 57. I just started learning about emotional intelligence 4 years ago. How many people have gone their lifetime never even studied that? Or if you read a book, great, but nobody practices that. So that was fascinating to me to be like, wow, I just checked myself. Emotional intelligence, EI. And I was like, wow, I am like this. So it made me curious to learn more. Rational emotive behavior therapy. That's huge. That's the science of thoughts, meanings, and emotions. So what's between a thought and an emotion is the meaning. People give meaning to a thought right away. We think it,
Hmm.
and then we say, "That's it," and then we feel it. And it all happens faster than a blink of an eye anyway. You know, faster than a New York second, or however you want to say. We do this so quickly. It's amazing. We don't realize it.
Hmm.
Everybody's stressed out. Nobody knows how to look at the upside of our lives. And I say our. Listen to those words. Our personal lives, because it has nothing to do with anybody outside. It's nobody's fault why we are how we are. It's
Hmm.
our fault. It was my fault that I was the way I was. Nobody ever taught me to look at the upside. I'm learning this by myself. It's fascinating.
Hmm.
And then I learned.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
go
and
ahead,
me
tell
both, because I was horrible. I
me.
I was. I
We
had
all are.
a terrible attitude. I didn't give a shit what anybody thought, or just, it's like you ain't
Yeah,
running my life. But you catch more bee with honey. So let's just put it that way.
we do. We attract that which we are. So
Hmm.
if we're angry people, we attract that kind of energy.
And you know what? I noticed that. I noticed the changes,
Right.
and having, not reacting to situations,
Right.
stepping back and just,
Right.
step back and just think about it,
Right.
away from the situation.
Correct.
And I'm telling you, going to be way, way happier
Correct.
for
Um,
sure.
we are, because we are human emotional beings, our first response is so quick. It's an electrical response. These are all electrical impulses. So when we snap, okay, that's an electrical impulse. But when you learn to catch yourself before you snap, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because now, like you said, Lisa, you're the observer.
Hmm.
You're back here in
Right.
control of that, and that changes the consequences.
It sure does.
So it's a great way to self-regulate. Like, whoa, wait a second. I know this about myself. So I'm gonna stop right here before I know what's gonna happen next. A
You
lot of
know what
people
I
say that.
think? You know what I think
Yeah.
happens, and you may think differently, but isn't it? Um, oh my goodness! I just lost that whole thought. I just lost it. Good grief! It'll come back. Continue talking.
That's
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
Don't
It'll
be.
come back to me
That's
because
all
I
right.
I was definite about that, and I wanted to say it. So it'll come back. CRS. You get to be my age.
Let's listen.
Things
Lately,
happen.
that's been happening to me. I had a real time conversation this morning with downstairs with one of the boys, and I looked at him and I said, what you say?" And I'm listening and not listening. I don't know. And then I forgot what we were talking about. I was like,
Right, right. Me
it
too.
is
But
what
I
it is.
just remembered, I was thinking of if most people are not aware. And if they are not aware, then they cannot really remove themselves from that situation.
Right,
So,
right,
having an open mind
right,
and know that however you were raised and the thoughts that you have,
right.
they very likely are not true, you know.
They are not truth. They're
Right.
not.
So, but
Absolutely.
that forms our whole demeanor, our whole everything.
Well, our state of being, okay, was formed between the third trimester and the age of 7.
Hmm.
That these are all science facts. I don't invent this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I study it because it's true, and it becomes real when you actually follow that path. I didn't know none of this stuff 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Are you kidding me? I
Me
wasn't
neither.
even thinking about this at all. Saving lives was the last thing I cared about. Okay, especially my own. So when you get to a point where you are being the observer and you could be more, you know, passive about what's going on, like, hey, I'm not gonna get involved, man. Let me see, you know. But the whole thing is that we're never going to know these things about ourselves only because we're not supposed to know, in the sense that we have been controlled and dominated and programmed since birth. And only after we go through a consciousness, a conscious state, and this is where, as adults, we get all tripped up. Because today people are hearing words like that, right? Awakening and the consciousness and the kundalinis and energy, quantum and healing. And everybody's like, what the hell is all this about? Well, you know what? It's no These are words that we don't practice using because we're too distracted with all the chaotic vocabulary words that we use. We use 90% chaos words. We
We
just
do.
do. I'm an English teacher, so I know this because I deal with a lot of stressed out chinos, Taiwanese. Man, I have compassion more because of it. See that? I've become more in this manner because I understand this more. Hi, Gabe. Am getting and feeling you. I got you, man. Feel you too. Thank you. So, you know, we're never going to know because we're not supposed to know. That's not a bad thing. But here's the thing again, we're adults. We hear these words. Now you know.
That's
Now,
right.
now you know, which means this: if you know something and you don't act on that you know, you haven't learned anything. You're still in your comfort zone. You're like, okay. But if you get involved, now you're challenging your own perspective, your own beliefs enough to say, okay, I saw this new perspective. I'm not ready for it. I still keep my own. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's going to happen is now you're paying attention to two different beliefs, and one of them is going to save your life. And you're going to feel resistance because your body and your
Right.
brain have been resisting anyway. They don't know what this new stuff is. We don't want, we vomit positive. We don't know what that junk is. But now, you start to taste a little bit, and it's got to be in doses. You can't take a big bite at happiness if you're a depressed person. You'll go in shock and die. Literally.
It's like building a new habit. You have to work into that and
Little doses.
practice,
You
practice,
raise
practice.
and raise and practice raising vibrations. And that's what vibrations are. Vibrations, everything vibrates, nothing stops, everything moves, everything's always in motion. Energy never stops flowing.
That's right.
And the energy of emotions never stops flowing. The energy of thought never stops flowing. Physical energy, kinesthetic energy, telepathic energy, whatever the energy is, it never stops flowing. So, you want to practice little doses of the next frequency,
Yeah.
because that's what we are. So if you're sad, that's a low frequency. And here's the baseline. If you're under gratitude, you're suffering. Gratitude is your baseline frequency, emotion. Okay, that's a 540 megahertz frequency. That's an electrical signal. That's a radio station, if you want to look at it that way.
Hmm.
So that's your baseline. If you're below gratitude, you're suffering, and you're creating or self prophesizing physical pain, disease, because that means that you're holding on to something in the past, something that you can't let go of. I'm not going to say that.
Whether you
Yeah.
know it or not,
Oh,
right?
yeah. We hold the truth. We take it to the grave. My mother,
Hmm.
God bless her, she's still alive. I got to go back to Jersey and find her. Um, she'll take it to the grave, man, because people are so used to, again, protecting, and it's not them that are protecting. So please understand, this is a metaphor. You personally are not protecting it. It's your biological self that's protecting you from this thing that you don't want to let go, the truth. And like I tell everybody, the truth will set you free. The more you protect yourself, the more hurt you're creating within yourself.
Right.
You really are. So you say the truth. The truth kills so many people, especially as adults. We cringe. It's like, I gotta tell the truth, man. This is
It's very
hard.
very humbling. And but if you're not
Listen,
aware, then it's not going to change.
it's not gonna change. So you get perspectives that allow you to do that. And EFT does that for you just because you're being guided towards a perspective energetically. You're the one who's doing your own tapping and saying the words that affect you subconsciously, because now you're tapping into what? Into your truth. It's all about the truth. We want to be honest. I am angry. Yeah, we know you're angry, but why specifically are you angry? Well, I was angry because when I was 12 years old, I got raped in the high school by a boy. I am a boy, okay? And then I was embarrassed, blah, 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 and beat up. That's the kind of anger that we bury all our lives and protect ourselves with and never talk about it. And we cannot thrive because of the shame we feel, the guilt, the anger, the resentment, the depressions that we went through. You know, these are all real things. So when we learn to let go of this, we learn to self love, open our heart to that truth. We exonerate our own body of being imprisoned with all that hurt, all that pain, and we start to live again. We start to thrive. The body starts to flow. It's just all God energy coming
Yeah,
into you.
I have
You know,
felt that.
it's a
And I feel
release.
that more and more. And that, I'm telling you, people, that is going to leave you with that good feeling.
Thank
Oh
you,
my
Saka, for that
goodness.
comment. Wow, I just got chills saying that too.
Yes, thank you, Yami. That's awesome. And I agree because so many people are not aware.
We're not aware,
Um,
but it's not our
no,
fault. It's not our fault.
no,
But when you
absolutely
are
not.
aware, It is your fault because we're
Yeah.
responsible now to know that I can do something about this. Okay, I'm afraid to do it. Well, don't. That's just excuses now. That's again the body saying, I don't change me. I've been like this for 30 years. And now
Mhm.
you want to be a nice guy. And
Mhm.
like we're usually angry at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and now you don't want to be angry. That's crazy. So the body's gonna resist.
Right.
The brain resists. So it all works with the gentle and empowering techniques of energy flow. You flow in your own energy with honesty. You
Right.
know, I
Mhm.
used to be an angry guy because of this. But once you shed that, you replace that with the positive side. This is where we really get empowered. This is where we elevate and stay there. And the reason why we stay there is because we can create a healing event
Mhm.
biologically in our bodies. And what that means is this, okay, we are electrical. We have over 35 trillion, I think it is, or billion cells in the body. So when we're tapping, okay, and we are in affirmation mode, positive affirmation mode, we're creating heart and brain coherence because it takes a zero point zero 0.01 millivolt of electrical charge. And that's what this does. When we're tapping our body, we're creating that charge for the heart. And when the heart gets that electrical spark, it lines up with the brain. It goes like this, boom, and they lock in. And when you are tapping in positivity, we are creating a healing event because now every cell in our body has a zero point zero 0.04 millivolt charge. So as you keep tapping and your heart is in alignment with the brain, your cells are charging up. What we're doing is we're churning up what's called a healing event that is absolute, which means that every cell in your body will signal the brain and say, this event is over. You're never going to feel this again. You are safe now. And it's a wonderful thing to experience because we just don't do that on birthdays or Christmas morning or, you know, Valentine's or whatever. That's the only time that we learn to celebrate and really be happy. And
Mhm.
even though we have pissed off moments because family sucks sometimes. So it's never a full great day. Somebody's always breaking a window, whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that you get to now understand that you can create your happiness, your elevated state, just by simply rehearsing that and believing. You don't even
Mhm.
have to believe it, it happens automatically because your perspective changes, you know, that very moment that you taste it. It's real because you felt it. I felt it. Lisa, did you feel it?
Yeah, absolutely I did.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. And then you know what? When I was going through my tapping with Gabe, and then I was on my own, and he does have a basic algorithm, which I'm sure we can probably share with you. And I even have the sheet, which if you reach out to me, I can get that to you. That you can practice this on your own in the privacy of your own home. You could literally take a quick bathroom break and go through this and switch your energy immediately.
Yeah.
And I've done this when I started working with Gabe. I about blew a gasket one afternoon, and I did. And I walked out into the garage, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do this real quick. And dang it! And I walked back in calm, and I felt better. And I thought, you know what? This is freaking cool. This is cool. If you can change your emotions like that, then you have control back for sure.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to go through just the simple one.
Well, one of the things that you've heard me say many times, and I rarely stick to this, 100% now, is people need to learn how to de-stress first before they address whatever is causing you anxiety, whatever's causing you depression or sadness or fear. Because when we're stressing out, our brain, the monkey brain they call it, or high beta, the brain comes in different levels of waves. So high beta is your monkey brain, your stress brain, your survival brain. That's the one where you can't sleep, you got physical pain, disease, all that stuff, you know. And alpha is where you are more relaxed and you're able to actually be more creative. You feel safe. And the other ones is theta. You know, you have delta, and then the highest one is gamma. But the whole thing is, I teach people to lower your brainwave first before you address your rape, before you address your PTSD, before you address anything that traumatizes you and still traumatizes you. The clown under the closet, in the closet with the knife, whatever it is, okay? Because when you're distressed, you got to be able to have your heart and your brain in coherence. And there's several breathing exercises that I recommend. But I've been working a lot with the EFT echo meditation breathing exercise because it actually you get to tap with that. And it's a wonderful 3-minute exercise. And what this exercise does is it gets your heart and your brain in coherence as we tap in gratitude or appreciation. And these words must be expressed because everything is energy, guys. If you look at your stress as energy, not as my neighbor is a jerk or my boss deserves a punch in the mouth, you know, um, it'll be a lot easier to let it flow, to let it go, because that's all it is energy. And that means our brain is stuck on automatic stress. You get triggered fast. It's always on autopilot. So this exercise, okay, um, shuts down your sympathetic nervous system inside your brain, and it relaxes you, brings you down to an alpha state. And that's 3 minutes. Once you're in that state, we can always tap on whatever is hurting you or has hurt you, but we're going to let it go. Now you can let it go because your brain feels safe. If it doesn't feel safe, it's going to struggle. It's going to cause more pain. You don't want to do that, guys. So you want to de-stress first. And I'm going to share that with you right now. I mean, I do have it, and I do want to share that with you. You caught me off guard with that one, Lisa. So give me a second. I'm going to pull it out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, no, don't. Don't be sorry. It's all good. Um, I'm looking, looking, looking. So give me a second.
No problem. I think this all is amazing. So we got to have the breathing exercise to get the brain and the heart coherent, get them reconnected. And you said that takes about 3 minutes, right?
It's only 3 minutes.
Yeah. And you guys can actually do this on your own too. I mean, you just take really deep breaths. You want to just kind of start from the diaphragm and go up. And then when you hold it, when you take in all your breath, try to get another gulp because that releases what is that thing in your brain stem that it releases?
And your brainstem.
Or
Oh, wait.
yeah, I can't
Um,
remember what it's called. It's some sort of like an adrenal gland or something that puts something down your spleen, doesn't it?
Not
It
the spleen.
builds.
Yeah, I'll explain. Well, at least
Okay.
I think I have an idea what you're trying to say. So, no, it sounds totally familiar to what I'm thinking about,
Right,
but a little bit
right.
different. I can't believe I can't find
But
my.
but anyway, you take
I'm gonna
a
give it to you.
deep breath
Yeah.
and
So
blow it out.
here's the way it works. Okay, we forget how to breathe, and this is so important for our brain because when we're stressed out, this is like again. Here's a fun fact people don't know. Okay, not only are we draining our brain 25% of our body's energy, so we are 100%, our brain requires 25% of our whole body's energy. We drain it completely, 25% when we stress. Secondly, it drains blood from the brain and oxygen. This is why we stay stressed out and we get those headaches and we get vertigo or whatever the hell else because no brain, I mean, no oxygen, no blood, and of course, no energy. That's huge. So, the last thing it needs is, to dry up. You got to give it water too. But those three things are huge. So, what you want to be able to do is remember how to breathe to get that blood back up, to get the oxygen back into your brain, and to raise that energy. And the way to do that is you want to be able to, again, You want to be able to sit down comfortably. And this is never going to hurt you guys. So please take your stress serious because I do. So you should too. No, I'm sorry. You must take it serious. So you sit comfortable, you just relax, okay? And you have your back upright. You want to have your spine straight because everything that I'm going to tell you right now comes to play to give you the most optimal, amazing manner to shut down your stress in 3 minutes. Pay attention, take notes. So, you want to breathe and only breathe through your nostrils. And you breathe in, and as you breathe in, you want to squeeze your perineum. Okay, that's what you do when you go to the bathroom and you squeeze the last drop. Men and women, squeeze that. Okay, and then you squeeze your diaphragm, squeeze your stomach as you're breathing in through your nostrils. Squeeze and keep breathing all the way up. Don't force it until you get to your brain. Now you got your lungs filled, right? And then you take that last one and you hold it as you squeeze perineum, your diaphragm, your belly, all the way up, and you hold it. And then when you exhale through your nostrils only, gently. Empty out the lungs. You're going to create this ebb and flow, rise and flow out again. You know, this is a what? Ocean term. Ebb and flow. Okay. In and out safely. So you go in. Now, as you're doing this, here's the next element that you're going to incorporate. You're going to incorporate your tapping. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be, and you're going to mix it up. And you exhale. And as you're doing this, you are self regulating your brain and your heart in coherence, and you're shutting down your brain. It's going down from a beta to an alpha. Your brain starts to relax. And when you incorporate verbal affirmations, it's okay if you think them. There's nothing wrong with that because they still vibrate, but your voice has a specific vibration, a signature that vibes with the universe, vibes with God. This is why I love choir. Sing it and preach it because that vibration reaches God and it
Mm-hmm.
resonates back to our hearts. That's how we draw the experience back to our lives. So when you're doing this breathing exercise, you can also affirm verbally, positive affirmations. I've been using lately, and I love this, the first ever written affirmation, positive affirmations for human life that were written 46,000 years ago on the emerald tablets, and they're called the 42 Ideals of Ma'at. And these are the most beautiful words you're ever going to see written 46,000 years ago that resonate with God. And what's beautiful about it is that they need to be spoken so that you can hear them. You can yell them out. That's called incantation. But when you speak them softly as a natural tone, because it's your voice to the universe, to God, it resonates the same way, but just gentler, and you're still getting that good high vibration, high frequency, where your brain is just so relaxed. Your heart and your brain are beating together. They're in rhythm. They're in coherence now, and that takes 3 minutes, guys. It takes practice to do that because we're not used to this.
Can you give them an example as if you were to speak the affirmations and the tapping at the same time?
Sure, absolutely. I'll give you. Let me pull up. I love these. I'm gonna do these amazing affirmations because
Awesome.
yeah, these are so. These are again. I find it amazing that these words were written 46,000 years ago, and They carry so much power.
Is that the same that you shared with me, or is this something different, Gabe?
I'm not sure if I shared this with you, Lisa,
I
but
don't. I'm not sure that you did either.
we'll soon find out. So as we're breathing in and we're tapping, okay, I honor virtue. I benefit with gratitude. I am peaceful. I respect the property of others. I affirm that all life is sacred. I give offerings that are genuine. I live in truth. I regard all altars with respect. I speak with sincerity. I consume only my fair share. I offer words of good intent. I relate in peace. I honor animals with reverence. I can be trusted. I care for the earth. And there's an additional 40 there or whatever, but these are powerful words, and these are the first, they're called the 42 ideals of Ma'at, but you can call them 42 affirmations. Many people do. This is all public information, by the way. I'm not making this up. But it's fascinating to know that, these words were what humanity, okay, lived by. There was no internet back then. All we had was ourselves and consciousness. So people were at a higher conscious level. Right now, the way we live in this era, we're at a very low conscious level. Uh, yeah, we are. So awakening becomes a difficult thing for people to understand. It's like that sounds, like some kind of sci-fi or occultish thing. It's just another way of saying, get your head in the game, okay? Because not everything that you learned is real, people. Okay, everything is questionable now. Everything. Okay, you
Everything.
know. I mean, our history is questionable. Like, please, I had enough of all the new things that I discovered because I followed that breadcrumbs, that trail. A lot of people are comfortable staying where they are. That's okay. I love you guys. Got a lot of compassion
What?
for you.
Yeah. What is that Bible that quote? Lean not on your own understanding.
I'm not sure about that verse. Yeah,
I may be saying it wrong, but that's the gist of it. Lean not on your own understanding.
lean not on your own understanding. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that. That's something to ponder. And again, great questions because when we ask our brain questions, it cannot think about negative things. It wants to address that. So that's another fascinating thing about our brain. If we're paying attention to a negative event, a past trauma, something that reminds of us whatever we're feeling pain or suffering with, and then we just ask ourselves a question, a simple one like, why am I feeling this way, for example? Now you're not thinking about that trauma. Your brain literally is like, okay, wait, stop. We got a new order. Let's answer this question. Let's look for an answer. That's why questions are so important. And Socratic questions, powerful self questions, like, for example, what is the real reason why I'm angry? Remember, Lisa, we talked about that, and that was a
Hmm.
hard thing for anybody to express because now we're getting to the core of honesty. Honesty is an elevated emotion, and when the heart is trying to protect that, it won't tell you the truth. So when you finally said your truth, all that released and you elevated, it just
Hmm.
bumps you up. It fills you up with so much joy.
It does. This stuff absolutely works. It really does. And anybody that's watching this live or the replay, any of you guys can reach out to Gabe. He is on Facebook here. He has a channel or a group, and he does stress relief for teachers.
Yeah,
And
teachers, students,
and
professionals, crazy people.
hmm and you also teach language. You teach the people down in Ecuador English.
No, no, I do
Oh,
not.
you. Oh,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no. I teach Taiwanese adult English online from Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was close, I guess.
and I'm also
That's
doing
good.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah, you just started. Tell us a little bit more about that and what you're doing with that.
That's um, I use the metaphor, the digital gold rush, because if we remember 100 years ago, 150 years ago, when we had the 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 gold rush of the United States, right? People were going out west, because they heard there was gold in those mountains,
Mhm.
and it's happening right now with AI. This is the digital gold rush, and it just happened last year. I think it was in November, maybe, when ChatGPT became the big name,
Mhm.
and everybody jumped on it like, okay, and every developer's trying to do things, and now you got tools for everything, and nobody knows what's good and what's not good. So I started working with a place called an AI developer called Shine Ranker, who has over 10 million subscribers in his platform. And what he did as a developer is he put together all of these AI tools that allow you to earn money immediately. It doesn't matter what you want to do. And the way you earn money immediately is by promoting him, because he already has a huge global influence. And his platform includes AI keyword trackers, AI viral keyword trackers. You can find out what keywords your competitors are using just with a click of a button. You have the AI video tool, which you can do a text to video. You put a whole 45-second script into this environment, and it will create the video for you. It'll go out and scour the internet for every video and picture that correlates to your text, and
Kind
then
of takes everything to a whole new level
yeah, and
for
it produces the
everybody.
video for you. And he offers, I offer it, through me. Um, for $1, you get 130 um, video checklist, the actual step by step for people to start making money with AI, but the ethical way, because it's the wild, wild AI West now, because it's the big thing. It's not, the dust hasn't settled, which is the exciting
Right.
part. But there's developers who are trying to put together the right environment. This is one of them, one of the best ones,
I
and
I
I use it.
mhm. I think that we've always had some sort of access to intelligence like this just by asking Google. If you want to know something, you go ask Google. But IA is a little bit different, a lot more in depth. It's like you can sit there and carry on a conversation
Yeah,
with it and then delve even deeper in certain areas once you get that conversation started.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I think that is cool.
There's
I
a lot
mean,
going on. Yeah, it's
mhm,
amazing. So, you know, everybody has opportunities. It's just that people use the word fear of, and
the
then
unknown.
yeah, and then when they have this fear of missing out issue, the FOMO syndrome,
Hmm.
again, it's like it's their fault, it's this fault. Blah, blah, blah. Jump on it. I don't. I'm not the expert here on AI, but I've gotten my ass kicked enough times to know, okay, I'm not going to go down this one. It looks shady, you know.
Right?
So I was careful with who I chose. I
Mhm.
like what I'm doing. It's working out. And you know what? Promoting somebody who is already an influencer and pays you 40% commission every time somebody goes through your affiliate link, that's helping people.
That's
That's how
right.
we grow, right? So he's helping me, and millions or
Mhm.
thousands, I'm going to say thousands of other affiliates make 40% commission by promoting him only.
Right.
And he invests his money in creating a better environment every time.
Mhm.
So his company is growing by leaps and bounds. I think he's going to be a front runner, like ClickFunnels did with Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson changed the whole website, concept when he created funnels. And now funnels is like pretty much replaced website. Nobody's talking about, oh, I got to create a website. No, you create funnels now. Well, this is what's happening with Shine Ranker. They're creating that kind of environment, and it's actually quite good. I like it because I'm promoting him, but it allows me to learn now the platform. So I use it for my EFT. I just created an EFT video today, AI video, with a script that I created. It was just really fun to learn how to do this, and when I'm ready to get better, that's all that's going to happen, because I invest in myself to get better. It costs me money to do this every month. but I
Mhm.
started with $1.
Mhm.
You know, you're worth an investment of $1 for yourself. I say to people, you know, a lot of people pay more than that in snacks a month. So it's like,
Yeah, pick your poisons, right? I
yeah, yeah,
guess. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So
Mhm.
this is the right time to jump on it. I personally believe that, and so do many millions of people. Um, it's just fun, man, and it keeps me distracted. It keeps me on the positive side of life, making money, thinking about ways of making money, but in an ethical, good way. And I'm not all over the place. I'm very specific.
Mhm.
Um, but it's an opportunity to learn. So don't miss out on the boat because remember, okay, in 1983, the internet was born. Okay, that was 40 years ago.
I
You know,
know, my goodness.
the home computer was around. Then we hit the year 2000. There wasn't a smartphone until 2010. Look how fast things are advancing. You're missing out. So don't miss out because there's
Yeah.
AI for everybody. You can apply it to any industry.
And you know what, people, there's a lot of people out there like my age, Gabe's age, that are scared to death of being on the internet. And I'm telling you, I feel you. I
Yeah,
know where you're coming from. You just got to find somebody that you trust,
right.
that has been through all that baloney.
Can we
I
talk?
be one too.
Can
Yeah.
we talk about that? Remember, I just want to
Yeah.
throw a little quick sidebar.
Absolutely.
When Lisa and I first met, she didn't trust me. She was like, "I don't know, man. You seem shady to me."
Oh, I know. I never really thought that,
I'm
but
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
but
kidding like that.
yeah, but
It's,
you don't know who,
you don't
you
know, right?
know.
Until, yeah, you want to
Yeah,
be able to build trust and rapport with somebody. Because too
right.
many people read one chapter in a book and then they say they're an expert and they talk a lot of shit and they sell to vulnerability. When we're stressed out, we're
Right.
vulnerable. So you want to learn to de stress for that reason, to lower your risk factor, to lower your vulnerability in everything, especially two things: your mental health and your heart health.
Mm-hmm.
When you got your brain and your heart healthy, you're good. Anything good will happen
Right.
because you're not
Right.
stressed out. Anything
Yeah,
good will happen. Those are powerful words to really live by when we're not stressed out. But you
for
got to
sure.
de-stress first. You bring it down to alpha, you got a hell of a shot, a great shot of succeeding with your mental health and your heart health. And what
Look
happens
at
after that?
your
Money. Mhm.
Yeah. Look at your vibration. People that work online. You know what? Before you sit down at that computer desk and start, interacting with people, and you do have to interact. And I'm
Yeah,
telling you, whether it's in a message or a voice
they're,
message,
yeah, they're
whatever
people.
it is, they can feel your vibration
The
by
energy is
your
energy.
words.
We're all
Mhm.
connected. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if
Yeah,
you're not in a place where you want to be to connect with people, then you need to stop and get yourself in that state. I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. You concentrate better. You don't get fooled by shysters so easily when you have a higher vibration.
right.
I know this to be true.
True.
So yeah, just make sure that you can get yourself in that place before you sit down and start going to work with the world, because
Right.
there's so many things that people are just rate. I mean, this is a time when not just millionaires but billionaires are born. I'm telling you. It used to be a time where millionaires were born, and we've all been through those times, and you know what I'm talking about. The depression, 2008 when everything fell out. You can look back at repeated history, and it tells you a lot right there. So,
Awesome.
Gabe, this has been awesome. I kind of wish we could go longer. I could pretty much do whatever I want,
Yeah,
right? But
this is a nice commercial. I mean, this has been a nice conversation. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, very informative. And I do have that algorithm on a Google Drive uh, um, document. So if anybody wants that, reach out to me. I can give that to you. As far as that 3 minute
I'll send you
That
that. I'll send it to you so
I
you can
yeah,
have it.
because that original one that you sent to me, it doesn't sound it. There's I don't know, something happened to the sound, and it could have been on my end. I don't know,
You mean
but it,
the meditation audio?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You should have told me. I would have sent you
Well,
another one.
I have my own meditation, so I
Okay.
just used one of them, and you
Okay.
guys can do the same thing.
Sure.
Just that deep breathing for 3 minutes get you, you know.
Well, this is a specific. This was developed by Dr. Dawson Church, and he is like say, well, he certainly is a PhD doctor, but he is a master EFT practitioner, and he developed this technique about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But what's important to know is that its efficacy is real. Why? Because EFT, or Dr. Church, is the man responsible for making EFT a accepted by the U.S. Congress for war soldiers for PTSD, and it's also been now being widely used by a lot of medical institutions for pain management in the United States because of his efforts with the United States Congress. So
Nice.
EFT is not a fly by night kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
It's real because it's been studied and peer reviewed for over 50 years, and a lot of amazing pioneers have made that happen. So I'm really I'm actually quite proud to be part of something like this because it's a global coherence kind of thing. It's not Joe's body shop.
Right,
You know,
right.
so
Well,
it's real. And
okay.
I'll send you that document. I'll find it. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just don't see the folder I
No
joined it.
problem. Yeah,
But
and like
it's
I
good
said,
to have.
anybody wants it, just reach out. You can reach out to Gabe yourself if you'd like to.
Yeah, if you
I'm
want it from
sure
me,
he
that's
wouldn't mind.
fine. Or and I'll
Mhm.
send it to you. You can always ask Lisa for sure.
Yep, I have all the ones that you gave to
Sure.
me, so I appreciate that. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Just one, I will be here every Tuesday. Next week, I get the love poem, the love poet. He creates his own poems.
Nice.
And he does a new one every single day, and he puts
Wow.
joy into people's lives. He makes
Wow.
them happier by doing this. And I'm super excited to introduce you guys to him. He's got, you know what, everybody has their own right with the wisdom that they have. We can learn so much from others, but
Yeah.
what else was it? Oh, if you know anyone out there that is making an impact in the world, I want to know about them. I want to talk to them. I want to give them kudos. I'm going to give them the stage like Gabe had today, and let them shine. So they deserve that because there's too much of the other going on in the world. So if I can find people that are making you feel good, that good feeling, and they've got something that they're doing to make other people's lives better, I want to know. Okay. All
Awesome.
right, we are out of here. Gabe, thank you so much. I appreciate you,
Thank you too.
and we'll see you guys next week. And I just end broadcast, right?
That's it.
Okay. All right, bye.